Hi everyone, this is Jen Kitzmiller with the Weather Service in Missoula, and I have your winter planning briefing, which was recorded on February 28th. So the main focus of this briefing is on yet another strong Arctic front that will be moving into primarily western Montana. This is going to begin on Friday and last through much of the weekend. We know it's been a tiring February between the sheer amount of snow that's already fallen and the number of Arctic fronts that we've already had. And this one actually looks like it's going to be the coldest air mass that we've seen so far this season. So really our main concern with this is going to be the wind and the impacts from the wind, which will be some deep snow drifts occurring over roadways and at times very low visibilities. So looking at the timing of the winds across northwest Montana, we'll see wind begin as early as Friday morning. This image here is showing sustained winds, so we're looking at sustained winds of 30 to 40 miles per hour with gusts up into the 50 to mid 50 mile per hour range. It looks like those winds, the strongest winds, will likely peak sometime on Friday evening. Then we'll likely see those winds decrease a bit into Saturday, and then we have a secondary push of cold air Saturday night that will further increase those winds once again. So we've got these two periods, Friday evening and then again Saturday night, where we'll probably see the most significant drifting snow. However, it's going to stay breezy all the way through Saturday, so it just looks like a messy period with blowing and drifting concerns. And really those winds are going to continue into Sunday morning, but it does look like things should start to weaken through the day Sunday. Here's a look at west central Montana. The winds come into these areas a little bit later, so it looks like it'll be late afternoon Friday, primarily closer to the divide, and then getting into the Missoula Valley and the Bitterroot Valley, probably more like early Friday evening. We'll see those winds peak Friday night, so in the overnight hours, and then like northwest Montana, we'll see winds decrease a little bit through the day Saturday, though it'll remain breezy, and then we have a second peak in winds and Saturday night. So Friday night and again Saturday night looks like the period of the greatest potential to see drifting, and then those winds do gradually decrease through the day Sunday. And again, we have similar wind speeds expected, especially along the I-90 and Highway 12 and Highway 200 corridors, with sustained winds around 30, maybe up to 40 miles per hour, and gusts nearing 50, especially in those exposed areas. And then across southwest Montana, similar timing here. It looks like you guys will start seeing the winds Friday late afternoon. They should peak Friday night, and then we'll see a little bit of a trend of decreasing winds into Saturday before the next peak Saturday night into Sunday morning. And finally, central Idaho, for the most part, you won't see much wind. However, it does look like there will be a little bit of a period of some of those easterly winds spilling over the Lolo Pass area along Highway 12. We know that you guys have had some drifting issues with some of the previous Arctic fronts this month, and we do think you'll see some of that once again with the winds starting Friday night, although it really looks like you won't see the peak winds until Saturday night. Into Sunday morning. But again, this primarily looks like a concern along Highway 12, basically between Lowell and Lolo Pass. So here's a look at our temperatures before the front comes through and then after it comes through. So you'll see on Friday afternoon, especially for the western portion of western Montana and north central Idaho, we'll actually see temperatures getting up to near freezing, but then by Saturday morning as that front comes through, it's really going to cool down significantly. You'll see most places, particularly in western Montana, will be in single digits or below zero. So here's a look at snowfall with this system. I haven't mentioned it yet because we're really not expecting a lot of new additional snow. There will be snow as the front moves in, primarily Friday late afternoon and through the night, Friday night. But overall, new snowfall with the system should be pretty minimal. Overall, just expecting, anywhere from 1 to 3 inches new snowfall. So again, really our main concern and impact with the system is those winds and the concern with drifting and blowing snow, because we know there has been such an extreme amount of snowfall this month, and especially here over the past week. So going into the weekend, this is the coldest air mass that we've seen this winter season. So we'll be looking at Sunday temperatures only getting up into the single digits across western Montana, and low temperatures, very frigid, well below zero. You'll see Butte, we have a low of 32 below forecasted. So this is going to be a very cold period. Earlier on Saturday night in particular, when we still have the wind chills are going to be dangerous, 30 below, maybe even 40 below in some spots, so frostbite will be a concern, but it looks like the coldest air mass we've seen this year. So here's kind of just a temperature trend showing how those temperatures are going to fall off pretty steadily going even into early next week. It does look like we'll maybe moderate temperatures some as we move into the Tuesday and Wednesday time frame next week, and maybe even get into a little period of some snow again by mid next week. But it looks like Sunday, Monday, and even part of Tuesday should primarily just be dry. It'll be cold, but it'll be dry. So here's our winter weather threat matrix. Just to kind of sum things up, blowing and drifting, the main concern. You'll see I have west central Montana highlighted for Friday, mainly for the evening and overnight time frame. We went red for that area primarily because of all the new snow that has fallen here over the past week. So there's a lot of transportable snow out there. So we think the blowing and drifting in west central Montana, particularly Missoula, Bitterroot Valley, could really cause some issues Friday night. So that's all I have. Our next briefing will be scheduled for Sunday. In the meantime, you guys are always welcome to give us a call if you have any questions or concerns. Thanks, and we'll talk to you this weekend.